Hi guys, welcome to our bi-weekly dev stream. We have today with me, to my left, your right I think, Matt and also Adam, which is not usually with us. But the fourth person is Max. As you can see, I don't know if I'm pointing on the right place because I can't see myself right now. But yes, Max is here.
Hello everyone.
Yeah.
I'm there in spirit.
Yeah, he's gonna be. Hopefully, you guys can hear him as well. He's from the other. He's all the way across the continent, so I don't know if the connection is gonna hold. Mark is out today. He's out on GDC. That's why we have Adam with us. How are you doing, Adam?
I'm very well. I'm usually the surrogate Mark, and today I'm very happy to be in his stead.
Well, I hope you'll be able to keep up with his level of droning on.
I will just have to speak a bit slower and talk about 24 more minutes.
Okay, perfect. Sounds perfect. We are not going to have any problem. Yeah, so how have things been with you guys in the past 2 weeks that we have had the dev stream? What have you been working on and stuff like that?
Well, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm an artist at the company, and I help manage and make sure that the art team kind of runs and functions and make sure they're on schedule and etc. And so far, in the last 2 weeks, I think we've been able to meet all of our milestones. And not only that, I think we've almost successfully replaced all the old assets in the game. Foxhole is almost completely out of the combat prototype in terms of art assets.
Animation notwithstanding.
Yes, not
animation, not
some of the UI no, but we're almost there. We're like 87.3% gotten rid of all those old art assets.
I was working on, if you don't mind me, I was working on the heavy machine gun animations in the past 2 weeks or so. I think you guys have seen it on the dev blog. And I noticed that the heavy machine gun is a pretty old asset. I think we're going to have to look into that eventually.
Yes. There was a game we worked on before Foxhole. It was called Fortified. So when we started this project, we didn't realize it was going to be a project. And I ended up just stealing all these assets from Fortified and then just putting them into the game. And some of them are still in the game, like the sandbags.
Oh, yeah.
They're still in the game.
They're still in the game, yeah.
Sorry.
I think the sandbags are gonna end up just staying there.
Yes, forever.
Like they're just sandbags after all.
The heavy machine gun is also derived from Fortified. It was like
heavily.
the auto turret, I think.
It was, heavily. That's why like the tripod doesn't work properly. Like there's like several problems that we're gonna have to fix on that.
Even the first version of the truck, I think, was based on our Fortified truck.
Yes, but that we
replaced that.
Happily replaced that.
There's a lot of stuff that was funny.
Yeah.
Actually, if I may, I mean, if I were to really think about it, the Relics of War is kind of a testament to how far we've come as a company, as well as a bunch of artists. We're at a position now in a company where we can actually generate a lot of cool new things, basically on our own without like crazy game design or a lot of help from the programmers. Like we can just build a cool asset, get it approved, and then it pretty much can make it into the game. So this actually like bodes well for the future of Foxhole.
Yeah, we always mention that like more content, like new weapons and new vehicles, were not the hardest thing to do, and that's kind of an example of that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not that it doesn't take a lot of effort, but it takes a lot of effort from the art team. If it's just like a different truck or something like that, it takes lots of like concept art and modeling and texturing, rigging, animating, everything. But it doesn't involve the programmers much. So that means it's way less resource intensive than other things. Like, oh, let's just make a new ping system in the game or something like that, which is like would be insane.
Well, it doesn't involve the programmers until something goes wrong with our build, and then we need them to.
Yes,
nothing we've ever done has gone wrong.
Ever. It's, everything is perfect.
As a truck flies off into the distance.
Cool. Do you have anything to add, KFC? You were here not too long ago. How was your experience here in the office?
It was fantastic. The office is great. I spend a lot of my time there because, unfortunately, for Toronto, I was in the business district, so there wasn't a lot to go around and see. But I mean, as far as the city goes, it's a city. The best food in town, I'll tell you. The best food in town, I'll tell you, is at Adam's place. So visit there.
That's not a euphemism. He came over for dinner.
Oh. Cool.
Let's continue.
On that note, on that very highbrow note, let's move on. Let's go to the community highlights, because today's might be a very different stream than usual. We're gonna have some community highlights. We're gonna talk about a little bit of what we did, and if Mark is available, because then again he's in JDC, he might be in a meeting.
I just got a message from Mark. He's not coming.
So he's not coming.
There was a chance that he might be able to call in.
So he won't be able to be here. Sorry about that. And then we're gonna open for Q&A as well. We're gonna see what's gonna work. I think this is the first time that Mark has zero input on the stream.
Yeah, so that means it's gonna be the. I'm just kidding.
The worst.
This will be the worst one.
Disorganized.
For sure. Exactly. So let's go on to the highlights. Cool. So community highlights snippets, for those that don't know, which is, I hope most people know, we have a dev blog. We have a community highlights blog post that happens every 2 weeks as well. Usually comes up on the same week as this dev stream, and it has all the things that the community has been building on the prior 2 weeks. We compile them. KFC particularly compiles them, organize them, so you guys can read, watch, see all the images, and comment on everything that you want. And there's a lot of cool stuff. Since we don't have much time during the dev stream, we're just gonna show a little bit of the snippets.
So actually, before you get started, there's actually one thing. Since there's actually probably a lot of new people watching the stream for the first time.
Okay.
What is it generally that we do on the stream that is going to be different today?
Okay. Usually on how these dev streams happen is we start with a little bit of, we just talk a little bit, and then we move into the community highlight snippets, which is what we're gonna do today. Which again is just like preview of what the community highlights will be. After that, we talk about the development of the game, in which we share news of what is coming, what is in the pipeline, what are we working on, what is gonna be the future of the game. It could be anything that relates to the development of the game. And he ends on a Q&A in which you guys can post questions on the Discord chat. Matt is gonna sort through them, ask us. But the difference is that usually Mark is, since he is the lead of the project, he's the one that is more hands-on what we are showing to the community already or what we're not showing. So he ends up taking the reins on those parts, on those last two parts, unless it's a very specific question for one of us. Since he's not going to be here today, we're going to talk a little bit about the things that we are developing. We're going to be talking a little bit about the relics. And the Q&A, hopefully they will be more directed towards us. So if you guys don't know, because you guys are new, Crazy Flying Chicken, this guy here, he's our community management. He also is doing a lot of map design nowadays. Matt, he does all of our map concepts and map design. He does also all the effects for the game. I am an animator. I do a lot of UI. I do a lot of the rigging and some other tech things. And Adam, he's our lead modeler. He's the lead of the art team.
That's it.
Adam already introduced himself. It's no big deal.
So if you guys have any questions in regards to that, it's gonna be much easier for us to answer.
You won't probably see Adam too much, so this is a treat.
Exactly. He's not
very rarely on the stream.
Either him or KFC.
We should have KFC more, but sorry, go ahead.
To add to that, if you guys are looking to get your stuff added to the community highlights, I promise the best way to do it is to post it on the Discord in the relevant channels. There's a couple of creative channel things there. I try my best to grab as much from the Reddit as possible, but I miss those quite a bit. So if you want it to be added to the community highlights, go to the Discord, post it there.
Okay, cool. That is true. Moving on then, let's start with the community highlight snippets. This time, I thought, since we all have artists in here, I think we're gonna have some good comments. I'm gonna start with just 3 very, very nice very nice images that were done. The left one is by Red Donut. It's his original art. I think it looks really cool. Mm-hmm. It's a completely different style than what we have, but I like the composition a lot. It tells the story very well, and it's just a cool moment.
I'm so excited for Foxhole because we've kind of gotten to this point where there's some iconic kind of looking things, whether it's the battle tank or the field artillery or even the gas mask and helmet combo. Like, we're getting to the point where we can probably distill these images down to like a simple bunch of shapes, and you actually know who they are and what faction it is. It's really exciting to see that because I don't know, all these things here are kind of amazing. I could never have imagined 2 years ago that this will be the kind of the end result of it, because I've seen that in the game. Then to see it immortalized in artwork is pretty exceptional. It's pretty amazing feeling.
Yeah, I think a testament to that is, for instance, the image on the bottom right, the one by Turtle and Rabbit, because you can clearly see who is a colonel, who is a warden, and even though they're almost like a palette swap, like they are in game, you can still see the details on the uniforms that they're wearing. They're very different from each other, and I think that is particularly cool.
It's beautiful work. It's really great. Also, that model painting is pretty exceptional.
the model painting is really
just cool. Like Commander Engine, he has been doing these models for quite a while now. He sent us some. You guys might have seen a few of them on previous dev streams, on previous community highlights. And this is one of the newest ones that he did, and it's just it's leaps and bounds the quality of the painting and from what it was before. It's quite impressive.
The one on the bottom right reminds me of Advance Wars. That was the first thing I thought of. Like, I can imagine Foxhole fitting very well into like Advance Wars, like almost perfectly. So that's cool.
That's really cool.
That's our new mobile title that we're going to be working on. Is that what you're saying?
Advance Hole
right now.
Yes, it is
on the Google platform.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Mark. Didn't mean to spoil it.
Okay, so next thing I thought it was really cool. I don't know if you guys know. This is all anime, all by one person. Janza, I don't know. They did. There has always been a very strong anime community on Foxhole, doing anime girls and anime other things as well, which may not be suitable for this time of day. But right now, the anime server on Discord, they turn into PG-13 again, and they open up the doors for people on our official Discord, and there's so many more artists floating in doing anime style. There's actually, in the community highlights, there's even more stuff from other people. It's just that I thought it was really interesting that one person had done all of these, and it's pretty cool. I don't know,
I have nothing to add. It's awesome to see this. It's really amazing.
Yeah, to add to that, I think Jane's is a relatively new artist on our community as well. So if you guys do see them around, let her know that it was featured on the dev stream. She probably doesn't even know.
Yeah, exactly. That's really cool.
I also don't know if the community actually knows this, but you guys can ping us in the chats, and we actually will we're always looking through the Discord. We don't always respond just because we have our job to do.
I used to say, like, before, when our Discord was like 10,000 people, 20,000 people, I was able to pretty much follow all the conversations and read almost everything. Now that we're 60,000, I really can't. Like, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
The reason why my name right now on Discord is don't ping all the devs is that pinging all the devs is bad, but pinging us individually, if you think that we're gonna find something interesting, is more than welcome. Particularly, I don't know, I'm totally open for that. I know that Adam is as well. KFC for sure is. I don't know. Of course, it varies from person to person, but we particularly don't mind being pinged on stuff that you guys think it's cool, something that you think that we're gonna enjoy. Go for it. Yeah, we're more than happy to always chat as well.
Yeah,
I believe I've said in the Discord, don't ping me unless it's about food or lore.
Food?
Yeah. so there you go.
You can ping me. You can ping me for all the weeaboo things. I am totally fine with that.
And if you guys aren't sure about who you can ping about what, you can always ping me, literally, and always ping Crazy Flying Chicken. I will, if necessary, I'll just ping the dev for you.
Yeah, he's the one that knows the community the most, and he's Crazy Flying Chicken. He's a dev like us, so he does work on the game, but he's also the link between the community and us. So if we're not available, or if the message has to be passed through to us, and you don't know how, Crazy Flying Chicken is your go-to guy. He will always be able to help you out.
All right, let's move on.
Going back. Okay, this is really cool. This is absolutely amazing, and I'm gonna play it. And I think for the first time, we don't have any problem.
Sorry, HB.
Yeah.
Hang on a second, guys. Stop.
What is it?
Legit, stop pinging me. I just got like 100 pings from people in Fly.
Don't ping them. Well, we lied to you.
I don't know if audio will work right now with our crazy audio setup, but we'll give it a shot.
Hopefully there is audio. This is really cool. This is by Ferk. He has been doing animations and in a different style, similar style for quite a while now, and this is just hopefully works. Oh no!
Perfect.
Perfect. Why is this not playing?
You be gentle with it.
I am trying. How do I do this?
Right in the middle. One more time.
I am in here.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Look at those explosions. Those explosions are really well done, and effects in animation are not easy to do, and they look great.
No, his style is great. It's amazing how much it's pretty iconic,
and it's evolving.
Yeah, exactly. As an artist, it's always amazing to see other artists grow. And it's like it actually just inspires me to actually make my own art.
Yeah,
again.
I really like this effect that he's done with like the outlines and everything.
Can you check to see if that has audio?
I should have.
That is muted.
Oh, the audio is muted. Oh shit! I hate this. Now I can't access it.
Well, I guess we can leave it. That's fine.
Well,
That's probably the problem.
I'll do Ferk's voice.
I can't access because this
because it's in that corner.
freaking thing is in the. Why would they do this?
Well, cool stuff. You guys should. Well, there's a link to that in our community highlights coming up, so go check that out. Also, I just want to say it's Sievish, but I mean, you'll just get in trouble for it later.
So there was actually in the comments of this video there was a discussion about what was the correct denomination
etymology, I suppose.
Denomination for somebody that is born on that location.
Sievish.
Is Sievish instead, not Sivan. Okay. And last but not least, I think this is really cool because these have been ongoing productions. So the first one on the left is by Commissar Jimbo. His Warden Press, which is a newspaper by the Warden side, has been going on. It has like 15 pages or something like that. It's quite long, quite comprehensive. Several people helped do it. And Commissar Jimbo is somebody that has been in the community before, came back after a long hiatus, and he's been coming back like with full on, like strong. On the far right, we have the Colonial Press. It has been coming up as well pretty consistently for the past almost year or so, I would say. I also think it's really nice that you have like two different views of the wars that happen, because the Legionary Weekly is done by the Colonial side, and the Warden Press is obviously done on the Warden side. And on the middle then is Sire John has been continuing his Foxhole card game. So you guys can check out all the cards, and he did 5 more. A lot of other people have been helping out and doing cards as well, but he has been very consistent on producing them, and they look great.
I think this sort of work just fits the theme of Foxhole so well. These are the type of ideas that we've wanted in the game for 2+ years now. And to see them kind of fleshed out and made into things, like the next level of this is actually to see like a playable card game, or for us to actually play the playable
or
card
to have
game.
Like a printout version of a journal.
I'd lose my
a
mind.
Newspaper.
I'd lose it.
Yeah, because think about it. Like when this first started, back in I think in a combat prototype, maybe even with, I think Commissar Jimbo might have been one of the first ones as well that did a newspaper. It was just like a one image.
Hold on. I think we have Mark. Mark, are you there?
Hey guys. Yes, we're here.
Oh, hey. Look at this. We got people from all over the world right now. All over North America.
Live from GDC.
Right, nice. So we lied to you guys. Mark is available. That's really cool. So yeah, this is the last of the community highlights, if I'm not mistaken. Oh. Yep. And then we're gonna start talking on Relics of War.
Perfect timing, Mark. So, Mark, are you there with Nuba?
Yeah, I'm here as well.
Nice. So this is the first 6 people stream. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's 6 of us right now. So how are you guys doing? How's GDC?
GC is great. It's crazy. You know what? It is very crazy, but I feel like it's toned down a bit from the last couple of years. This year, the biggest thing that people are talking about is streaming, as I'm sure everyone back home has been watching to see what Google is going to be doing with their streaming technology.
Yeah,
we've been working. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no. Each year there's sort of a new theme. A couple of years ago, everyone was excited about all of like the VR craze, and then it turned into like ray tracing last year, and then now this year is definitely streaming is the vibe here.
Nice.
That's cool. You know, it's funny. You actually sound like you know, like a on the field informant,
like a journalist.
Well, I mean, if you guys Press Corp's live from San Francisco.
All right. Well, let's talk about the last update. How do you guys? This is definitely a question for you guys and KFC. What are you guys thinking so far?
Sorry, you're a little bit choppy.
That's okay.
We're talking about the Relics of War, the update 23. So what do you guys think about it?
Oh, the new relics?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm more interested on how everyone else feels about it now that we've sort of slowed down their spawn rate and moved into the more we slowed down their spawn rate because of the complaints up on the Reddit. But since then we haven't seen anything. Actually, I've been getting a lot of pings about people wanting us to add them back in now that we have the AT weapons. But yeah, well, yeah. I think our biggest concern with them going into the early stages of the war, so jumping to the very beginning, when we were having problems with the relics at the start, I think the major complaint that we agreed with the most was that the relic vehicles seemed to make builders almost obsolete. Where it was like, why build foxholes if they roll up on you with a bunch of almost impossible to kill armored cars that could kill them in 2 seconds. So a lot of people weren't bothering to build defenses, and the net result of that was we noticed a lot of border lockdown. Mm-hmm. Teams basically sweeping whole maps with 1 or 2 armored cars or with relic tractors, and then just waiting at the border and just logging off. And that was a major issue.
I think people were also kind of caught off guard because I don't know if everybody knew that the sticky bombs were unlocked from the start, you know, as a counter to the relics, and you know, because there's no because the anti-vehicle turrets are not like, we're not in the game, like the sensible thing would have been to like make sure that you have stickies to kind of defend against relics early on, but I think people were kind of caught off guard and like they weren't anticipating as many relics. So you know, it's funny because, you know, who knows, like next war, if people now know how relics work and, you know, what role they can play, it might not be as effective because, you know, everyone's going to be carrying a sticky on their pocket, and, you know, you're not going to be able to roll through as easily if people are actually anticipating it. So I think it's kind of it's definitely interesting. You know, it definitely changes the war, the field. It definitely changes the war in terms of like how it plays out initially. But yeah, we definitely are, you know, hearing you guys on, you know, the builders' grief. Like that's real, and, you know, we do want to make sure, you know, people don't feel that way. So, you know, we're closely monitoring everything. So
yeah, and I think the only thing that I want to add to that is that we have to take risks sometimes, and sometimes they don't pan out like how we wanted to, which is why it's a risk. And in this case, we did talk a lot about how the early game might be impacted, and sort of look at the pros and the cons. And we did want to shake things up a bit because we do know that one of the feedback that we've been hearing about is that the early game has gotten kind of stale. So we decided to try this out and see how it worked. And this is one of those times where things didn't pan out exactly how we want to. But, you know, we also try to ensure that when we do take a risk, because we know the war is going to be long, there are some settings that we can change on the fly to make sure that we can course correct in the case that we missed the mark. And since we missed the mark this time, we heard your feedback. And we wanted to also not instantly like react and to give the change like a bit of time. But after we did give it a bit of time, we saw that you guys were right, and then in that case, we were able to jump in there and make those changes, right? So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think that the relics was it was a gamble on our part, of course. We had some concepts of what was going to happen. Nothing resists like actual gameplay, but if we don't, we don't want. I never wanted to be completely stale, right? So we wanted to make sure that everything is fun, and sometimes we end up having to tone down a little bit. I think that's okay. I don't know. I don't see it as a big problem. I think having to look back and having to reconsider our choices a little bit, it happens. People also are very quick to react to a meta, react to like a new feature that they're not used to it, and that it's not something that we want to do as well. We don't want to react right away if we don't know if that's what's gonna stay like that for the players. You know what I mean?
Is there anything else that you've heard on the Discord, on the Reddit, or even in game that you guys were surprised with in terms of maybe reactions to the tech tree or anything like that? Is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about other than the relics? Anything that off the top of your head? I know we was reading something about the kind of reordering of the tech tree a little bit, and I was wanted to know, Mark, maybe you had any thoughts on that? How people were reacting?
Mark?
Oh. I'm going to say no, he has no thoughts on it. It's perfect.
Mark is suddenly muted. I don't know. There we go.
We're actually,
Mark, you were muted. Can you repeat whatever you said?
Yeah,
it's not just you, Alkas. Actually, that's the mixer. It's just a little choppy, right?
It's okay. Give us 1 sec.
If you can repeat the question, you sort of
Repeat the question,
Adam. Repeat the question.
Oh yeah. Is there anything else about this update that you wanted to discuss? Because I've seen a lot of reactions and stuff posted early about the reordering of the tech tree or any of the other design changes. Is there anything in particular you wanted to talk about? It's more of a food for thought. I was just curious myself.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the questions that I kind of have is how the map changes have worked out in terms of the mainland not being just 3 columns that are all the same length. Because I've been away over the weekend, I haven't really seen how that has played out as as one side has pushed beyond the opponents have pushed beyond Rohan's Passage into Reaching Trail. It's actually more of a question that I just want to learn more because I've been away. That's been something that I want to know more about rather than have like an opinion on it. I'm not sure, Max, if you have seen much of what's going on there.
Yeah, actually, I think the most exciting part of this was there was a point a couple days ago where the Colonials were pushing into Reaching Trail from Weathered Expanse, which was really, really cool to see. So normally in these games, we see players going straight north to south all the time. They never go left to right. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like mental. But this time, for the first time that we've seen in a long time, players didn't finish capturing all of Weathered Expanse. They switched and went into Reaching Trail from the left side.
That's really cool.
That was really cool to see.
It's just really interesting because things have played out the same way for a while in terms of how the maps sort of like evolve, and I think just shaking that up has been kind of a little interesting to watch. I've heard like little rumblings and read things on Discord, and it just isn't. You're hearing names of things that you don't normally sort of like hear in a war. Just places come up, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I feel like that's been a neat thing. I don't know if we'll find out soon if it holds up. But
yeah, I think we're gonna move on then. We're gonna
let's get Adam to talk about the fan art contest.
Yeah. So to all those people who don't know about this, last year we ran an art contest and we received some incredible submissions. This year we decided to do another one, and we wanted to change the theme a little bit, leave it a little bit more open-ended in terms of what you guys can make, but with a clear objective to kind of tell different types of stories other than just typical war stories. So if you are interested in learning more about the art contest, please go to foxholegame.com/contest. All the information is there. You can also DM me personally and I can help you out. But today I just kind of want to talk about the prizes for the contest and what our plan is for the future. What we're going to be doing is we're going to have 3 tiers of prizes as well as an honorable mention category. So first place winner will get to work with us, one of us, most likely Matt and Max, and design and develop something unique and permanent in the world of Foxhole. We were trying to think of a really cool prize that we could give out, and everything kind of paled in comparison to really kind of
a chance to work with like on the game itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So we're really excited about this. Patchouli last year was the overall winner, correct, Matt?
Yeah. And we put some cool lore into the game with like some individual items that were built for it and stuff.
Yeah, and we're going to leave this a little bit open-ended. You know, when we do have a grand winner, a first place winner, we're going to have a discussion. What type of thing do you want to make? Is it a relic? Is it something in the world? Is it an item? You know, within reason, we can have a meeting and we can kind of discuss, and maybe we can even do some concept art for it.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Oh, man. And also with the first place winner, you're going to get an autographed Relic of War poster, which is a very limited run poster, and I'll show it off in just a second here. And we're all going to autograph it here at the office. And there's only going to be 4 of these in existence, actually. So it's going to be 3 that'll go to the first, second, and third place winner. And then one of them is for us in the office, for us to frame. So we're really excited about that. You will also receive a Foxhole t-shirt and Warden and Colonial stickers and pins. Second place package will receive everything except they will not work with us. And third place package will receive a sticker and pin. Excuse me, I just said third place package. The third place package goes to the third place winner will get a sticker and pin package and as well as an autographed Relic of War poster. And this honorable mentions category, this is something that's really exciting. We still haven't ironed it out, but HP had a wonderful idea of possibly doing a special stream or some sort of event.
You know that now that you said it live, now I have to do it, right?
Oh, I'm holding you accountable. And we want to kind of showcase some of the cool art that maybe art, music, songs, poetry, anything, baked goods.
Yeah, basically, I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be 100% honest. The honorable mentions is the stuff that we find really, really cool, but maybe they were not, they're like up to the top 3. But it's cool nonetheless. It's interesting, and we want to showcase it, and we want to think, oh, you deserve something for it. Then you're gonna receive an honorable mention.
Exactly. So this is something we're gonna kind of iron out, and its scope will be dependent on time. But we're really excited about this. And first and foremost, the whole point of us running this contest is Matt. Actually, switch it back to my face. Maybe a little bit more intimate.
It is on
your face.
Oh,
look at that.
I thought it was on this. All right. So first and foremost, this is something where we, the developers, want to connect with you, the fans, and the players, because we first and foremost are fans of the project. And we just love having a community like this. I mean, the fact that we have 60,000, this is totally a humble brag, but the 60,000 Discord members is totally, it blows all of our minds collectively. And this is a way in which we can actually work with you one-on-one. So if you guys want to ask for critiques or talk to us about the art that you're working on, DM us. Feel free to throw it in the art discussion channels. I would love, I know I can't speak for every artist, but I know the vast majority of them here would love to talk to you about your work and your ideas, and maybe even work with you and help you. And like, there's.
I mean, we gotta be careful on how much we work with anybody, because we don't want to be biased as we work if we're trying to help you for the contest, you know. But other than that,
yeah, I mean, for me personally, I mean, this came out of when I was a kid and I used to play like Warcraft 2 and stuff. I used to just love looking at the game manuals, and I used to my brothers would play the game and I'd run off of the game manual and go and draw it. And then 20 something years later, here I am working on a game myself, and I want to be a part of something like that. So if it's something that we can contribute in a way, like I used to submit to the World of Warcraft fan art contest.
Oh, really? I don't know.
The weekly submissions. Yeah,
I would love to see that.
They're awful, and I think I destroyed them all.
It's like an orc with like an axe, like Chris Metzen style, like broken hands and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So let us. I can't wait to see what you guys make.
Yeah,
and let me show you the
cool.
poster.
Oh yeah.
We just got them here. There's only 4 of these.
I can open it.
Yeah, please. So it's a printing process called Giclée. It's a very special printing process. So it's 1-to-1 to the actual illustration that Julian made. And we're going to autograph these. So there's only going to be 3. So it's a very special prize, in my opinion, and I hope it goes to a good home. And that's all I want to talk about in terms of the art contest.
All right, so we're going to go to like a short Q&A. So if you guys have questions, please ask them. We have 6 people here available to answer your questions.
As I said before, this is a slightly different dev stream than before. We don't have an announcement because it's a mess with Mark out of the office and everything like that. But we will have a Q&A, and since Mark is online, hopefully he has a microphone working. I don't know. We'll try to cater our questions to something that we can answer.
I'd like to jump in there and actually address something that was said in the chat a little while ago. Somebody, I think it was Hayden. Hayden is the developer of the Foxhole Stats page, and he says that the devs, pardon the harsh criticism, he says the devs screwed up the relic vehicles because we don't play the... And I think what I want to address about that is something that we've repeated constantly, and it is that we don't. There's no way in heck that we could ever compete with you guys on how much you guys play the game. You guys are the ones that that really guide the development of this game. The only hard part here is to make is for us to make the information available to you at a point where you can help us make those decisions. And I think our biggest mistake with these relic vehicles was not getting all of the mechanics out to you during the dev branch. We released the relic vehicles, and you guys saw them in sort of a very bottled state where they were completed and the stats were done. But you didn't see the spawn rates. You didn't see like how common they'd be. So of course you weren't able to give us the feedback that maybe they're a little too powerful at the start of the game. So in the future, our hope is to help address that and hopefully get it so that the dev branch, you guys have more of an effort to get your say in. But if you guys do want to influence the development of this game, I strongly encourage you to take a look at that channel when it does come available and participate in that, because I guarantee you it's the one channel that a lot of the game designers are all reading almost completely. Like we'll go through almost every message.
Yeah, it's just it's impossible for us, and we do have people in the office that play the game constantly, but even still, nobody can. Nothing survives. No good plans survive contact with the enemy, isn't it right? So you guys are not the enemy. But the environment is like our plans are our own enemy, because we think that this is gonna work this way. We have a good idea. We test it on a controlled environment. It's not like that. When you have literally thousands and thousands of people playing, it's very different than us testing. So we do appreciate a lot when you guys test it, and even when something is broken and you come up and like hold us accountable to it. Like it's good. That's the whole reason why this game is being made, is for people to have fun doing what you guys are doing. And the reason why it's still in early access is because we still have a long way to go to get it ready and perfect.
Do you or Alkas have any thoughts on that, Mark? Or Alkas? If you guys are even
Is the microphone on?
I don't even know if you guys are still there.
Can you double check the microphone?
That's them. That's their mute. Okay, no. So someone asks.
So
No,
Mark
we do-
and Alkas are
Hold on.
Yeah, so it was really hard to hear what was said, but from what I gathered, it sounded like the discussion was about how much we play the game. Yeah, I agree that there's no way that us on the team are going to play the game as much as you guys. And that's just there's definitely people on the team that play the game a lot, but it's never going to amount to how much you guys know. And as Max said, it's 100% true. I think we need to be able to get the information out to you guys sooner, and I think that the more that you guys participate in the dev branch is only going to make that process smoother.
Cool.
Yeah,
But I think there's always going to be a huge unknown factor with Foxhole and with this kind of game, because like HP was saying, our internal testing, we can't simulate 1,000 people playing in the war. Dev branch is never not really going to come close to that, and it's really hard to predict. It's really hard to predict, when you add something to the game, which way it's going to swing the balance. We try to add things, with some sort of design purpose, and our first iteration might swing one or the other way, and it's because it's such a dynamic, such a user-driven game that regardless of how much we're playing, it would still be hard to predict. So I think there's always going to be some process of iteration that always has to happen, where we say, here's something interesting we want to try. It will most likely not work like as intended in the first thing. It'll probably be a little off balance, and we kind of iterate from that, and we improve, and and we obviously rely on our player base to give us the feedback that we want to we need to have to make those decisions. Like, oh, did we swing too hard? Which way? And how can we make it? How can we alleviate the situation? I think we're getting bombed here, but that's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a really important point, and this is kind of like my last point on this is that, like, what is so important too is that we don't just look at what did we do that's broken, right? But it's also like, what are we trying to do and how we can make it better, because without the leeway to make mistakes, the game is not going to get any better. And it's important that everybody understands that mistakes have to be made. As much as we want to try to not make them, we also need to, not always play it as safe as possible, because then you're never going to see any movement on the game. You're never going to, if we didn't make any mistakes, the game would just, still be the same way it was like 3 years ago, or at least like 2 years ago, and we wouldn't be seeing what we have now at this point in time. So
cool.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much, Mark and Alkas, for answering the questions, and we're gonna move on to the Q&A. Thank you very much for joining us, Mark and Alkas, and KFC as well. KFC, I think, is gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna end the call with you guys just because we have some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks for the next stream.
Yeah, we're talking about the other devs.
We're gonna.
Well, we're still gonna be here. We're talking about these guys.
Get rid of their faces.
Them. All right. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Wait. There's one more thing I want to say.
Okay.
What is it?
At GDC, someone from the community decided to start a meetup, and it looks like we've gotten traction with a few more people. So if you are in San Francisco and you want to meet up, there's a thread on the subreddit. I'll be fairly high up on the subreddit, and we're meeting at Club 251, 7 p.m. on Thursday in San Francisco. So we'd love to see you there. But probably a good idea to leave a comment in the thread just to make sure that everyone's on the same page. But it was just a last-minute thing that was set up by the community, and I'm excited. I'm personally really excited for that.
Do you have to be a drinking age?
All right, I think we're going to bail out right now because
all right,
completely.
Yeah, it's really bonkers. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
All right,
Thank you very much, guys.
Let's get to some questions
Bye.
now.
All right, let's make this a professional show.
Yeah.
So we start again next week. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So basically, there's a GDC meetup in San Francisco. Check the subreddit for details on that. Let's get to some question answering. So one of the first questions that was asked that I had here a minute ago, but I totally completely lost it. Any chance the art team could show some love to the leaves around the bottom of trees? Hermit forests could cause seizures. And I'll let you know, this has been one of the hardest, but this is the flickering tree base bug. This has been one of the hardest bugs that we
Matt in the case of the flickering tree base bug.
We haven't been able to figure out. I thought I fixed it several times and we have not. We recently discovered that we can reproduce it by using a rifle in one map in one area. If you equip a rifle, it triggers it. So so we have some people on it. We don't know what it is, but
our
just
best
know
minds are on the flickering base of the tree.
just know that's a bug I've been trying to fix for probably half a year. So the next question that I wanted to ask was, is the first prize just going to be a bit of lore or an Easter egg of some sort, or can the winner make something big?
Well, we're gonna work with people to see what they want. It could be something a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
If it fits the lore, if it fits the time frame of the development, I don't think you're gonna be able to rename the game or anything like that. But
yeah, you probably won't be renaming something, but you can make a pretty big impact. For instance, Patchouli last year wanted to include some of the lore that they created for the story that won. And it actually had a pretty big impact on the history of the world, being that one of the characters, their family's namesake is also the namesake of a major sort of geographical section of the world. So I think that's pretty cool. But that is lore, so not everybody might see that. But I think it's going to be up for discussion. It's going to be Patchouli and I worked together to make it fit Foxhole and stuff. It wasn't too, honestly, because it was based on the story that won, we already thought it fit really well, so it wasn't hard to make it work.
But let's say you were a modeler or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you win not with a story, but you win with an image or something like that. Depending on the case, of course.
If that's what you want to do, you can do.
Again, it's for the winner is going to be open. We're going to discuss whatever the person wants and what we can do. But assuming somebody's a modeler and something like that, maybe we could see if we can fit some of your designs in the game and on a building or something like that. Or
I would treat it the same way we would treat anyone else on the team. Whether or not whatever the idea is, and whatever size and scope it is, it needs to be appropriate to the game and needs to go through the right people and the right channels.
And it needs to be feasible as well.
Yeah. So when we get there, we'll cross that bridge, because
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're all on the same page in terms of how cool of a thing that we would love to see. I just can't wait to see what actually gets.
Yeah. Let me put it this way: nothing is out of bounds to begin with. Just of course, we're gonna see when the person wins. What is that we can do?
Yes.
But it's not going to be a whole new map or something. To talk about in terms of how big the size, that's way out of scope. But it might be you may be able to help forge some of the design or backstory of a vehicle or a town,
a small area of a map. Why not, right?
But it'll be pretty dependent on a lot of things. So you'll pretty much just have to see.
And the game will be different by time that'll come around. So
every 3 weeks.
It'll be amazing. I guarantee you the prize will be really cool.
I think the person who wins is gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think
regardless.
Disco 48 asks, is a building update still coming?
Yes.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Everything in due time at the moment.
So every 3 months or so, we're going to be doing a major update for Foxhole. That one is planned at some point in the future.
It's probably going to be one of the big ones.
It'll be a huge one. It'll be probably the biggest update.
Because we want to make sure that the builders have way better tools.
Oh yeah. This is something I think the three of us are personally invested in making good. We know we can make something really awesome. And when we get there, and we're kind of working on something. When we get there, be something that's a constant back and forth. And
But
for sure, we're going to do something.
It is still coming, yes.
Yeah.
Peter Millie asks, I just emptied an entire clip into an enemy and saw blood splatters, yet he wasn't even wounded. Can you explain what is going on?
Sometimes there's some prediction that happens when there's a lag and things like that, and your client might think that the other person is there. So you might be seeing on your screen that is hitting, but due to it's very rare in which you have like a disparity of this range in which you empty a whole clip and the guy's not even wounded. But under very, very specific circumstances, very bad circumstances, you might see something like that. So your client, like your game, your computer might see something that the server, like, well, this guy was not here or you were not here and he was not actually hitting. So that could be happening. It doesn't happen that often nowadays because there's a lot of work on the netcode of our game already on the way we deal with who is receiving damage and stuff like that. But I guess in some situations it might happen.
If the server's got a lot going on, it can happen, but it shouldn't happen frequently. Like if you're seeing it constantly, then maybe.
And if you're seeing something constantly like that, that's the kind of stuff that our programmers would love to hear about, because we have people that are very dedicated on the network part of the game and optimization of that and how the client deals with the server and all that. So that's, if you're seeing this constantly and not a one-off case, then it's definitely something that should go on the bug report so that people can take a look with as many information as you can of your system, and video is also good, all that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stranger Days says, so I've heard the dev team say several times that Foxhole is in early access and we're willing to make radical changes. What is the possibility that we could see the tech tree be removed in its current form?
Removed completely?
I would take that to mean like a totally different take on the tech tree. And I would say, it's likely. I'm not going to say it's going to happen because I don't know, but I think the tech tree is definitely like an area that I could see dramatically changing.
We don't have any plans right now. Let's put it out there to remove the tech tree. But it is a part of the game that was introduced into the game for a reason. We wanted to have the sense of progression of the technology and all that, and that the two sides would have choices that have to be made as a whole, as a team. So if we were to remove the tech tree, that part of the game concept of having these choices and having this progression will have to be made in a different way. It doesn't mean it's not doable. If we find a better way that fits better the game, then yeah. So
great answer.
I wasn't ready for another question.
I can talk about my weekend. I don't know.
No, please don't.
Do you have a question?
No, I was going to say with the I was just thinking of any of these sort of ideas. If you propose a question like that, or even the other one about the base building, these are the type of things, like if you guys have an idea and a proposed better change, we would love to see it. Yeah. Put something on the Reddit, throw something on Discord, make a Google Doc, send it to us. We'd love to read it. And we
will say the more organized your suggestion, the more likely it is that it will surface. Because now we get so many that not everyone surfaces directly to everybody. But if you have a really, usually if people put a really organized, sort of presentation together, it actually gets sent around the whole team.
Tanks is not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, an example of this, a couple of months ago, before Christmas break, I threw up a Reddit post about the base building because I was just playing the game myself and I was kind of frustrated on my end, and I kept hearing the same responses back to me. And then I said, okay, well, what do you guys think about the system and what would you guys do differently? And people wrote a dense response, so much so that I went through it. There was 100 and something comments, and I took all that information and I put into a Google Doc internally. So not that I could use it right now, but eventually, we treat everything seriously if it's taken seriously.
Yeah.
So if you guys have a problem with the game, define the problem, propose a solution, and then it's easy for us to digest.
Okay, I just want to say something as well. That's it's not your job to come up with the solutions.
Mm-hmm. But if they do.
Because if there's something wrong and you don't know how to fix it, that's fair. I think that's a very, very fair criticism, and we should always hear, it's hey, this is not working, goddamn fix it. That's fair. That is fair. But something that has a proposed solution, even if it's not an ideal solution or it's not a solution that takes into account what we are developing, because you guys are never going to know. It does help us a lot. It makes it much easier for us to see and analyze and discuss among ourselves as well, because I think the best, when suggestions get the furthest traction with the team, is when there's something that we can discuss as like, wait, what are the merits of this? How could we implement it? Will this work? So when there's a problem we already has a solution, it does help your suggestion to be brought forth and for us to discuss it among ourselves, which I think is very important.
Thank you for the correction. I agree.
Flip4 says, you guys mentioned that you were open to ideas. Is there any chance we could get more dev responses on Reddit, at least showing that you've seen the suggestion? So I don't know. That seems funny to me because I feel like we respond a lot on Reddit.
Well, I think that I think what he's asking is about like, maybe it's like, hey, I read this, or like we long time ago when we were doing some debugging on Discord, there was like a dev scene tag that the devs would use. I mean, the reality is that stuff takes time, a lot of time. We do read a lot of it. I don't know if there is any like ready system in Reddit just for us to say, hey, we read this. It's just that also every time that we do something like that, it creates an expectation that the person wants a response. Maybe that's not your case, the person asking the question, but it does happen a lot with a lot of communities. Like, oh, you read my question, so what do you think about it? Like, we receive DMs like that all the time. I don't know about you guys, but I do receive that. It's like, hey, I have a suggestion here. And I'm like, I don't know if I should respond, because that's like the 15th today. If I respond to everybody, it might take a little bit too long.
I'm going to say the answer is we can't respond to
I think a reality is of time.
So when we respond, it's usually to a general thing. It won't be a very specific thing.
Or it is to a specific thing that I think there's so much merit that we want to discuss this.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to say no. I don't think we can. It's feasibly not possible, and I think it's totally all right to say that we can't respond. You have to trust us that we do look.
Yeah. Well, I think that the reality that we look comes from the fact that there are suggestions that get put in the game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Not I of course, out of every 100 or 200 suggestions, one get put in the game, but that's because only one of them fit the game as we were foreseeing it. But it does happen. You can like veteran players will be able to tell you that yes, there are suggestions that get put in the game.
1W49 asks, if I have an idea for a vehicle and have all the details of how it could work, how could I submit that? And I tried to respond with a link to the Discord in our chat, and it didn't work for some reason. So you can do it in our Discord. You can find our Discord if you go to our website. It's very easy. Someone could also link you. There's a suggestions channel there, or you can post it on Reddit, any one of basically the community areas. Do you want to just ask it?
Yeah, okay,
I don't know what you're pointing at.
SEAOM, I'm not going to read the rest of the name. How difficult it is to add new uniforms to the resistance faction, considering they are actually representing the corresponding faction they are fighting for, due to the fact that they would break the armistice?
That's a cool idea.
How difficult it is it's a different question than how cool it would be.
Yeah, it's more of a cool thing.
It would be really cool. It is actually not that easy just out of... Actually, different uniforms for, let's say, you're still in the colonial side, and adding a different uniform to that might not be as hard, because we're not changing the fact that there are two factions. Now, at making the resistance a different faction than the original ones, that would be very hard, because there's a lot of our systems that take into consideration that there are only two factions in the game.
I would love to see.
But having like a different, I think that's something that we did comment before when we were thinking about the resistance. How cool it would be that like they have different visuals solely on the fact that they are in the resistance phase. Yeah, that'd be I think it's totally doable.
I'd love to see the community's drawing.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I want to see that. Who cares about our ideas?
I almost imagine them looking like those first concepts of the characters that you did, Adam.
Oh, the really, really like the
really like farmer ones. Yeah. All
Julian's
right.
better than me.
Yeah, Julian's got it down a little bit more. So we're going to bring that to an end. HB, do you want to bring us out?
Sure. So thank you very much for asking questions. If we didn't get to your question today, maybe on the next dev stream that happens every 2 weeks, every second week on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. EST. If you log into Discord at that time, you can answer questions, ask questions live, and we're gonna try to answer them live. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're gonna try to answer some of the comments questions after the video is posted as well. But if none of these options work, please join the Discord. I'm gonna put the Discord link up here. Join the community there because you can ask questions there. You can ask us questions. You can ask KFC. He deals with them a lot. And some questions have been answered 10,000 times, and the regular players will be able to answer them as well. And it's a cool community. We continue to grow. We just reached 60,000 people, which is a pretty damn big Discord.
We had it was really funny because just on that note, we had one of the bigger Discords when Discord kind of went out of beta, and they talked about some of the bigger Discords. And it was like
Fortnite,
GTA, and like Call of Duty, and like Rainbow Six, and then it was like us. It's like everybody's like,
the big
Foxhole?
four. The big four.
Yeah. It was also it happened the last year as well when they posted like, oh, these are the top, I think, 10 Discords.
Yeah, and
we were like
them.
right there. So
there were so many people in like the comments were like, what is Foxhole?
What the hell is Foxhole? But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you guys dealing with us.
This has been a fun stream.
This has been
the best stream. It will never reach any higher than today. So.
And then in 2 weeks, our dev stream is going to be back to normal. We're probably going to have Mark here. It's going to be just calm and normal. And we're going to have development for you guys. So stay tuned. Come back in 2 weeks. Thank you so much.
And as always, stay foxy.
I hate you both.